for joining me today on my channel where you are going to spend some time with me today on meal prep. I actually had someone request that I do meal prep on my next video. So I want to talk to you guys about different ways that some of you are already meal prepping, and then I'm going to talk to you about ways that I've been hired to meal prep for different people who have had different circumstances. So whenever you cook a meal and you cook a large portion of it to last 3 or 4 days or even until the weekend, that's considered meal prep. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's in an individual container like this one, or if you just want to do it in separate containers, that's another way you can do it as well. This, of course, is more convenient. Now, you can find containers like this on Amazon, of course. We're all using Amazon, especially in the times that we're in right now, because it's convenient and when it keeps us from having to go to the store so much. And so does meal prep, does the same thing. Now, meal prep can be done for convenience. Some people do it for weight loss, and some people do it for portion control. But mostly, I think a lot of people do it for convenience. Now, if you're a family and you have children and you don't want to have to cook every day, that's another reason for doing meal prep. But I want to talk a little bit about the focus today on portions and portion control and how much of which food group to eat or to put in your container for weight loss. Now, this can be for convenience as well, but this is a pretty good size container. When you choose your containers for meal prep, if I can get this open, you want to make sure that the size of each portion is about what you're going to eat. Now, this is really good. I like this container because it has 3 sections, and this is where I normally put my clients' protein, and here's where I put their vegetables, and here's where I put their carb. So as you can see, the smaller portion is the carb, the next up is vegetables, and then this one is the protein. Now, I use this one for protein and vegetables as well as here and here, especially if I'm going to do 2 different types of vegetables. It just depends on what that particular client requests or what their diet calls for, okay? So let's get started. Now, I want to share with you guys, these are actual containers with food in them that was actually prepped between yesterday and today. This is some catfish that was grilled, or oven baked rather. Seasoned really well here, and in this container is some kale that I prepared yesterday. And normally when I prepare kale, I prepare it about 2 bags at a time, or if I buy it fresh, I may buy 4 bundles at a time, and by the time I get through chopping it, because kale cooks down, it doesn't cook down as far as spinach does, but it does cook down as opposed to what you start with. It does cook down for that. Now, the next thing I have here, now I prepared this rice this morning. This is some jasmine brown rice. Now, this rice was prepared in the microwave. It was really quick. When I cooked it, it didn't take long to prepare it. But I prepared this rice for some gumbo that I also made earlier today. So as you can see, my meal prep has kind of overlapped from yesterday to today, and I still have a couple of more dishes that I need to prepare, and I probably won't do them today. I'll do them tomorrow, but this is enough to last us about 3 or 4 days, okay? So now, how much do I need of each food group? That's the question when we are talking about meal prep. Now, when I meal prep for my clients who are trying to lose weight and doing portion control, it's very important that I have this scale. This scale helps me out a lot. Now, this scale was purchased on Amazon. This is a E-Tech City scale, and it comes with this bowl. I highly recommend when you do purchase a scale, make sure you get one that has a bowl that comes with it. Otherwise, you'll have to subtract the weight of the bowl from the amount of your food group. So it just depends on how you want to do it. I mainly use this one for protein. I don't use it for my vegetables or my carbs because that's where my measuring cups come in. Okay, so let's see here. We're going to turn this on, and I'm going to put this on ounces. It's already on ounces. Now, as far as your protein, you want to have at least 3 to 4 ounces. Your leaner protein, you may want to do leaner protein, you want to do 3 ounces. If you're going to do red meat or anything like that, you may want to do 3 ounces. That way you're getting enough protein. So we have our fish here. It's already on ounces. So I'm going to put that piece in. That's 1.8. 2 pieces here is 3.7. So that's there about between 3 and 4 ounces. So that's a good amount of protein. So that's how much we're going to put in our container. And the protein part of it goes right here. So we'll go ahead and put that in the container. Now we have our protein out of the way. Okay, so we're done with this scale. Now, I'm not saying that you can't use this for vegetables or your starches. You can. I prefer not to, because to me it's easier when you use your measuring cups. Now, as far as your green vegetables, be it broccoli, peas, kale, cabbage, lima beans, whichever green vegetable that you are going to prepare for your meal prep, you want at least 1 to 2 cups of vegetables. 2 cups is better for you, especially if you're doing leafy greens, so you get enough fiber in your diet. Okay, so we have our kale here. And when you measure this, you want to pack it down so you're getting enough, because you want to be full. You don't want to be overly full, but you definitely want to be satisfied. All right, so this is about a cup of kale here. That's 1 cup. That's a pretty good amount. Now, if I'm going to do 2 servings or 2 different vegetables, you could do 1 cup here with your protein, and then you could do another cup of something else over here. So I'm going to apply this to my, got a little bit on the counter here. I'm going to put this in this container. Now this is leafy green. It's kind of big vegetable, so it's spilling out a little bit. So it's okay. Go ahead and put some of it over here. It's no problem. Stalk here. All right, so here we are. Now we have our protein, we have our leafy green vegetable, and next we're going to do our carb. Now, when it comes to rice, rice can be a little tricky. You don't want to have too much of your rice or starch, or whichever you decide to, whichever type of carb that you want to have in your meal prep. This is a 1/3 cup. A 1/3 cup or a 1/4 cup is what you want to use when it comes to your rice. Any type of grain or whatever you're going to use, be it quinoa, rice, it's up to you. Brown rice is always great. It's really best for you. So this is jasmine brown rice. I know it doesn't look very brown, but it is jasmine brown rice. And this, as you can see, I packed it down here, in here, and then we're going to put it in our smaller container. So the good thing about these containers, it kind of helps to guide you. Okay, where does my vegetable go? Where does my protein go? And you know, your smaller one is going to have your carb that's inside. So here you have it. This is a full meal, and it is ready to go. Now, some people like to meal prep on Sunday. I prefer Sundays because it gets you ready for the week. So even with this fish here, this was a box of catfish that we purchased, and we just cooked the whole thing, as opposed to just taking out a couple of pieces here and thawing it out, taking out a couple of more and thawing it out. Just go ahead and cook the whole container. If you get it in a bag, that's fine. This actually came in a box. It's farm-raised catfish. That's what we prepared there. I just think it's better and it's more convenient if you do it that way. Now, like I told you, this kale, this was 2 bags of kale that was pre-chopped. I prepared it in vegetable broth, and I used garlic, and I used onions, and I seasoned it to taste. And this is just 2 cups of jasmine brown rice. And you can see how much it made. So this is considered meal prep, as well as this being considered as meal prep. It doesn't always have to be in a container. As long as you have it prepared for your family to dive in and just heat it up and eat it, it's still convenient. So don't forget about your scale. This is something you can find easily. There are all different types of scales that you can purchase. I find this one very easy to use. I can put it on liquids. I can put it on ounces. Whatever I'm weighing, I can use this scale for that. And this handy dandy bowl, you can just wash it, dry it, and you're ready to use it again. I hope this video has helped you guys so very much for your meal prepping purposes. And if you have any questions, feel free to inbox me. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. And I hope to see you again. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.